Hi folks, I'm at my folks for the holidays and I went through some of the board games that I grew up playing and thought it would be fun to kind of take a trip down memory lane and look at a couple of the games that I played growing up and share them with you. So first is Elixir. I got this game I think when I was in middle school, and it's a really good party game. I remember that. So it's a 3 to 8 player game, and that was one of the reasons that I enjoyed playing it because it was really good to pull out when I had a group of friends over. A lot of games I think we only had like maybe up to 6. So this I could actually play with like the whole group of friends. So essentially that you are wizards and you are trying to create all these different elixirs. I'm trying to trying to remember all the different rules for this. But it's a card game. So the point of the game was that you had these spell cards. Everybody started out with the same number of spell cards, and whoever got rid of their spell cards first won. Essentially, you made the potions to make the spells, and so you also had a bunch of the cards these were the ones that you drew, and a lot of them were different ingredients that you needed to be able to cast the spells. Some of them were like action-y cards. It was just a fun, goofy, silly card game that worked really well for a group. The next game that I found that I vividly remember playing with my friends was Mystery Mansion. And this was you search through the mansion trying to find clues, but the cool thing about this was that all of the rooms, there were these like little room tokens and they moved around, I remember, and I think you built the mansion as you went. There were stairs you could place. Oh right, there were little treasure chests that we ended up having to tape together because they kept just like popping open and stuff like that, that had little cards in them that associated, and you had to like go through and solve a mystery. And this is not a review video in any way. This kind of feels like a precursor. It was like one step above Clue, but not quite to like some of the mystery games that we have nowadays of Mystery on the Hill, Mystery on the House on the Hill, that kind of game where you are building out the board as you go and you're discovering pieces and moving your pieces around. But yeah, I remember pulling this out and it was fun. It was I remember a little finicky sometimes because we would like bump the table and the rooms would go everywhere. But this was a fun game that got into a little bit more strategy and trying to work together, but also trying to play against the other players. So there you go. A little bit more of a complicated board game than say like Sorry or Monopoly, something like that. The point of the game was that you wanted to be the first player to find the treasure and make it out of the mansion. So you were playing against the other players, but I don't remember it being quite a cutthroat game. I remember it being a little bit more of, oh, I'm just trying to be the first person. I'm not necessarily trying to screw the other players over. Now, I could be misremembering that. The last game that I saw that I wanted to pull out and kind of reminisce on was Labyrinth. So this is kind of similar in the Mystery Mansion where you build the board and everything, but it actually, like, a good design because you had, like, so this was the board for it, and then you built the labyrinth, but it also moved around. I don't remember the exact mechanics. Aha! So yeah, you would shuffle the maze cards, and you would get a certain set of objects that you had to go retrieve. I don't think you actually retrieved, but you had to like land on the space to say that you had retrieved it. And throughout the game, the board also shifted around. But yeah, like, so it worked pretty well because like, okay, that piece would go there, this piece would go here, and you could shift it. Because I remember actually this was a game that like didn't have any issues with the board setup or anything like that. No, it's a very simple game. Like these are the tokens and stuff like that. The art on it is a little silly, like this ghost. Oh boy, this ghost. Oh, you can't see him. You can't see him because it won't focus. But this ghost, oh boy. It was such a simple game, but it was fun. I remember playing this quite a lot, I think with my older brother, because it was a good one for kind of all ages. It was very easy for him to enjoy it, but also, you know, easy for a young kid. Oh, and apparently 1 to 4 players. Huh, I don't remember ever playing it as a 1-player game, but that's actually cool to see that there were single-player games back in, oh god, when was this even made? I don't know when it was made, but let's take a look at the back of this board game. Oh, that's fun. So yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this kind of fun look back on the games that I played growing up. I also played a lot of Apples to Apples. We played Sorry and Monopoly, but that kind of what I started off on, and then when my brother brought home Catan, that was when it was like, oh, this is really awesome. I really enjoy this style of gaming. But Labyrinth. It was so much fun. Comment below with what are the board games you remember playing as a kid? Or are there any, have you gone back to your parents' house and like raided their gaming cabinet and had a like flashback to all of the games you used to play? Let's talk about it down below. I want to give a special thanks to all of our patrons, especially Sean, Joan, Arby, Lainey, and Bryce. If you're interested in becoming a patron, you can head over to patreon.com/rollforinitiative and check out the perks. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye! Mr. Elijah.